Hi there, today I wanted to talk about a new trade paperback book that's come out that I was really looking forward to, and I'm glad I got it because I really enjoyed it. It is Steeple Volume 3. This is from Dark Horse and it is written and illustrated by John Allison. John Allison is a British comic book author and illustrator. He is probably best known for web comics that he does. The series that brought him the most attention is Giant Days, which I've covered on this channel before. Really loved that series. Steeple I've also covered the first two volumes of, and it's a great series in itself as well. You'll see some more of my views when we go through the flip through in a minute. But there's also another series called Bad Machinery, from which some characters in this book come. And we'll talk about Bad Machinery separately, but it's all set in the same universe, all of his stories. They are great fun as far as slice of life stories go. They've got this sort of dry British humour. There's silly elements, there's dramatic elements. I just think he's an author who I really enjoy his sense of humour, and he's one of two authors that I actually genuinely am excited for their work coming out. The other one being Ed Brubaker, and he just had a new book come out at the same time of making this video, a new Reckless book that I'll be talking about separately. But those two, very different ends of the spectrum, I suppose, but they are both people that their quality is always high, and it is always a genuine joy to read their books. So much so that reading this book, I read it slow because I didn't want to burn through it. I know I can reread it, but you know. Let's have a look at the flip through, then at the end we'll have a look at pricing and availability and things like that. Okay then, so this is Steeple from one of my favourite comic book writers and artists, next to Ed Brubaker. This is one of the only comic producers that I will actively anticipate and be excited for a book release to come out, because I know it is going to be a certain quality and it will be a certain standard and just meet all of my expectations. This is Steeple Volume 3. I've spoken about Steeple before on this channel. I think if you like your sort of Hot Fuzz, Shaun of the Dead kind of stuff, it has got that great British sense of humour, and it is just a fantastic read. Published by Dark Horse, and on the back here we've got a new year begins in Treadregan and satanic ritual goes awry, bringing the filming of a cosy TV detective drama to town. Unfortunately, this particular Pandora's box contains a few things a lot less pleasant than casual jobs and showbiz glitz. Plus, in a special backup feature, a teen sleuth puts the cat among the pigeons as she attempts to solve the disappearance of a glamorous author. Now, this book contains a few different stories, and the first one is at Christmas, when they get a sesh gremlin, which is they go out on Christmas Eve, get pissed up, the two girls wake up, go round to the Christmas dinner that they've been invited to after getting presents at the at the garage, and then find that this bloke they met down the pub the night before, who latched on to their drinking party, has also turned up because they invited him when they were pissed, and they call him a sesh gremlin. And essentially he's someone that goes to the pub on their own and just latches on to you until he ruins your night and makes it all about them. And it's just a very, very funny situation. I don't want to really say no more than that, because it just made me chuckle. But it's a nice start to the book. It sets the tone, it sets the pace, and it just gets sort of, you're chuckling straight away. And there's lots of little references in there to British Christmas time that you will get. And if you're interested in British Christmas time, then I think it's a good example of that, because we get so much American stuff. It's nice to have a nice British point of view. Anyway, the next story, an author comes to town. Brian from the Satanic Church really fancies her and makes a move towards her in the pub, but she manages to get taken away by one of the girls and occupied. Anyway, at the book signing the next day, she vanishes, and there are emergency protocols for what to do if she ever disappears, and that means bringing in Charlotte Grote,
Charlotte Grote is a character from a book I have previously talked about on this channel called Wicked Things. She is a teen detective. She's 18, and she's also from a series called Bad Machinery, also by John Allison. Now that series is really, really good. Totally worth checking out, as is Wicked Things. But this sees her come into town. She experiences an orgy at the Satanic Church, which leaves her suitably disturbed. But she also finds herself enamoured of the Reverend because he's a heroic figure. And if you know anything about Charlotte's past, which you don't have to enjoy the character in this book, you know she hasn't got a dad because her dad died when she was young, and it's made her have to be a certain way with people and things. Anyway, they go looking for the author. Many funny little situations ensue. It turns out that mermen have captured her for reasons that are explained throughout the book, because she wrote about she used metaphors for depression, but talking about sea creatures, and they took it to be an actual biblical text talking about a sea god coming back. The other story in this book is when Billy, the girl that's in the Satanic Church, tries to do a prayer to her god to get some money, and it turns out that the local sort of Midsummer Murders drama that's filming in the area, but never comes to their town, and brings with it jobs and romance and a bit of excitement. And there's lots of things where they're taking the piss out of the sort of British supper time detective shows. There's things about showbiz and what people are like in that community, and there's also a little bit about trying to save creatures as well. But you also get a background into Maggie's character as well, where you find there's her dad, who is a very rich, disgraced politician who's part of his own satanic cult that rivals the one in their town. And there's a nice joke about how rich people of a certain status always wear red trousers in there that just made me laugh. You also find out some more backstory about the Reverend and his previous curate and what happened to him, and you're left on a bit of a cliffhanger. But a fantastic read, totally worth supporting and buying in trade paperback. As far as extras, you get, where are we? Some nice artwork. I mean, I think that would be a nice t-shirt, wouldn't it? And then just some sketchbook. But it's worth reading his sketchbook, because some of these ones I just flip through and don't pay too much attention to. But because you know that John Allison is actually drawing and writing, it's interesting seeing how the two come together. And I feel that he's constantly just beavering away on trains, and whenever he's sitting anywhere, just coming up with new ideas.
Okay, so that was the book in the flip through today. Really fun art. It's simple but expressive. The characters are great. I can't speak highly enough about this run of books that he's got. I mean, there are other ones. By Night is another series I've got of his that I keep meaning to review, but just never seem to get round to because life gets in the way. But I would say, if you want a real funny book, pick up volumes 1 and 2 either digitally or in print. Check out his website. I think it's Scary Go Round. I'll put it up at the bottom, where you can see webcomics and other information. But yeah, the availability of this book is it's available everywhere at the moment. Well, at least at the time of making this video. Price wise, I'll throw the prices up on screen for you so you can see what it's currently going for. I'd say pay about the £10-ish mark for this same standard new trade price. It's got very good, quality feel to it. Doesn't feel like it's been cheaply put together. I mean, to be fair, the Dark Horse books always feel pretty good. Marvel been hit and miss with the quality of their trades, which is why I don't really buy them anymore. I tend to get them in digital format. But this is something I want to support. I want to have a physical copy of, so I go out and buy it in a physical format, because I know that's what comic companies are looking at. And also at the moment, trades, unless they're on sale, they're just not priced competitively in the digital market. They're falsely inflating it to keep physical sales up. That's a whole different video. Let me know what you think about this series. Was this something you're aware of? Was this something I opened your eyes to? If it is, please let me know if you enjoyed it or not, and let me know if you enjoyed any of the other stories in the John Allison Scary Go Round Bad Machinery universe. And thanks for watching.